start by the introduction he has made. He said that curriculum is dynamic in nature. And when the word dynamic is used, the presenter has not even bothered to tell us the dynamics involved in curriculum. So I think that word is a very sensitive word in his paper. So he should throw light on the dynamics that are involved in curriculum steps.
Question. Is that the only question? Yes. Right.
During the presentation, under the steps involved in curriculum development, you mentioned item 1 as aim and objective. I would like them to give us a classical example of aims and objectives in developing a curriculum.
Yeah, one example. Example of aim or objective. Next question.
How do you know that 2 is enough?
Is it done?
Answer the one that I've answered first.
I'm not going to ask a single question. I want all of you to ask.
Yes, why not? Curriculum, when he was talking, he mentioned that curriculum involves programs and courses. So I want him to distinguish between the curriculum, program, and the course. Tell us the difference.
The difference between what?
Curriculum, programs, and course.
Course. Okay. Yes, John.
In almost everything that we do, there are certain programs that you must encounter. So they are afraid to tell us programs that are likely to occur when developing a curriculum.
Problems that are likely to be encountered when developing curriculum. Did you hear that? Yes. Another question? That's how many questions? That's 4. Three. That's 4. That's 4. Are we okay? Yes. Okay, so if we're okay, we can still ask more questions after this one. So, who is responding to the questions on that one? The presenter or one of the group members or all? Okay, so let's just take the first question. The first question was, what are the dynamics? Because you used the word dynamic, the curriculum is dynamic. And you failed to explain the dynamics of curriculum. So can you enlighten us on that?
Yes, I will try to provide some answers to some questions. I didn't know all. And I'm not alone, moreover. What are the dynamics of curriculum development? A curriculum, I think that is what Mr. Idoko asked. I think this term paper was given in different groups. And for us to have mentioned that word, it's just that we just have to say something about curriculum before going into our topic. And some other persons are specifically coming to discuss about dynamics of curriculum. And so for us to go there and start discussing dynamics, jumping to somebody's area of specialization. So I know that there are dynamics. And so, but I was not asked to do that. And somebody wants to.
Lecturer in our midst. We just want to give a little summary of what's dynamic. When we talk of dynamic in nature of a curriculum, to say something is dynamic, it is not static. That is the similitude. Something is dynamic as it changes. Because if you go back, you will discover that in those days, the curriculum they were using was a 6334 system. And if you go to the junior section, it was written JSC, but presently BEC, which a lot of modification has been done. So that is the changing situation, and with the current dispensation, they are changing the curriculum in such a way that it will suit the skills, the ability, and the interests of the pupils or the student in which we are going to teach. So that is why if you look at the various changes in curriculum as being dynamic, because it is not static. What we have learned in those days, it is not. Even at the Benue State University here, if you look at the courses they took when they were in 100 level, a lot of innovations and changes have added on to it to ensure that it has met the current expectation. That is why curriculum has changed. And that is why we say it is dynamic and not static. Thank you very much.
The next question was. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. The presenter, I think you have failed to do justice to that question, but we thank God for our brother. I think dynamics. I think dynamics should be seen as one of the characteristics of curriculum. I think we should consider that as a characteristic of a curriculum based on the explanation he has given. Thank you.
Please, I'm the one to decide what is right and wrong. Okay? Yes. So, next question.
Classical example, aims and objectives of curriculum development.
Speak out so that we can hear you.
Somebody asked, can we give a classical example of aims and objectives of curriculum development? Group members are here.
Good morning, the course lecturer and my colleagues. First and foremost, aims and objectives are two English words. When you are talking about aim, you are talking in general. You are trying to aim at picking a master's degree from Benue State University. It's your aim of coming here, isn't it? Then the objective has to do with the specific. That is what you are supposed to go about, the content, what you are supposed to go about before you arrive at the aim of what you're going about doing. There's a little...
I think what you wanted was an example. For instance, if you want to, what would be the aim of a particular, give it in concrete terms, spell out a kind of aim so that it will serve as a template for someone else who wants to state an aim or objective of curriculum.
Yes, up.
The master, the lecturer in charge of the program, and colleagues, aims, as we all understand, is the general terms of a purpose. Objectives, for example, the Benue University is producing a doctor, and this doctor, by objectives, you will be able to inject people, you will be able to diagnose some sickness. In short, that is the objectives. a teacher will be able to go and deliver a lesson to the learners. It's an objective. The aim is to become a teacher. I think we are all getting it.
Can a member outside the group contribute?
Yes.
Okay. I think, okay. Good morning, the course lecturer and my mates. I think if we're talking about the aims and objectives of the curriculum, we know that curriculum is an outline or a guide that tells the teacher what to do and the learner what to know, so as to better himself and that of the community. And then when we're talking about the aims and objectives of curriculum, curriculum is designed to ensure that a child or a student is brought up in a particular profession such that he can be used to himself and the entire world. Now, for a teacher, without the curriculum, the teacher will not be able to impact effectively. So if the curriculum is not there, the teacher has nothing to give to the students. If the curriculum is not there, the learner will achieve nothing. So without the objective, without the curriculum, the nation will exist, but will be, how would I put it, will be meaningless. Because all that we're using here today comes as a result of the curriculum development. Like, without the development of the curriculum, we will not produce all these decks and the seats we're using. Without curriculum development properly to address the issue of how to draw a plan of a building and how to go ahead and even construct it from the substructure to superstructure, I don't think we will sit here comfortably in this kind of buildings. So I think with these few points, we stress the objectives of and the aims and the objectives of the curriculum.
Let me explain myself. My problem is not with the content as it is with the definition. What I want is the presenter presented this to us as one of the steps in developing a curriculum. So let's assume all of us here are gathered together developing a particular curriculum, and one of the steps is aim and objective. What an example.
How will you set the aims? How will you set the objectives? In that
For a particular kind of curriculum. Let's use our course of study.
Okay, very good. Yes, very good.
No, sir.
Problem. First of all, identify the problem before you talk about aim and objective. So if you have the problem at hand, for example, in setting up technical school, your aim of setting up the school is that we have jobless people all around. So your aim and objective of that is you've identified the problem. Your aim and objective of that in designing a curriculum for that is how to teach these people the skills. That is the purpose of setting up the program. You teach them skills that they'll go out there and become self-employed instead of walking about, roaming about the street.
Go on.
That's your purpose of set. That is your aim and objective. If you have to develop the curriculum now, you say your aim and objective is to train these people, give them skill. Let it not just be theory. You understand? That's the aim and objective of that program, so that at the end you all achieve your purpose of.
It's like there's a yes before you come to the let's hear from.
Good morning, lecturer. Good morning, mates. I feel that the major thing that we need to understand about the aims and objectives, as in using the example, is, for instance, we may consider the technical college as a section that we want to plan a curriculum for. So we say that the aim of this curriculum is to produce graduates that can be able to use, to produce technical graduates that can serve in the industries, or will be able to further their education. Now the objective is to give them the academic knowledge and the practical skills. I think it's in that, something like that, that we need to know That's as an example of aims and objectives of a curriculum. So we can say that we consider the curriculum of a college, technical college. Then we state the aims. What are the aims of establishing that section? So we can say that the aim of that curriculum at that level is to give the students the knowledge to be able to use their hands and mind and body at the end of the program. So the aims, the objective is to teach them the practical and academic, to teach them practically and academically. I think that is what we are trying to point out.
I think the question Ladi asked is a very fundamental. Yes. It has to be addressed properly and carefully. Because you're telling somebody that one of the steps in planning curriculum is to define the aims and objectives. Now, how do I state the aims or objectives? Like Charles is struggling with stating them. If I even the way he's struggling, at least gives an idea, but it doesn't really capture it in a professional way. I say, at the end of a certain period, what is supposed to be done. I think the aims here, like he said in that paper, somewhere I saw in the paper, that the aims state what is expected of the learner at the end of a particular. You said that. Now, why is it so difficult for you to now frame a typical example? Yes.
I think a typical example that the learner is, one of the objectives is that the learner is expected to have the cognitive, the affective, and the psychomotor ideas after graduation.
Yeah, that's very general.
Very general.
Just a minute. Let's hear from
Emilia.
Specific.
I wanted to give an example on when we want to, let's say, produce a curriculum or develop a curriculum on a course like amplifiers to be taught at the technical college level. But one can state that at the end of the course, students should be able to design a one-stage amplifier, and then under it, topics will now follow with their specific objectives. Thank you.
I think that we are coming closer to what additional here.
I think the aim, let me use the word education. The aim of education is to develop one, to have a critical thinking. And then the objective is that at the end of the education, the student should be able to maybe read and write, or be able to distinguish between a man and a woman. So the aim is to develop critical thinking, which is broad. Then the objective is specific. I think that's my idea about aim.
No, okay. So you are still describing.
I think we'll take 2 more comments on this, and then Ladi will put us through.
I think what we're having now is that it's just we should know the meaning of aim, and at the same time know the meaning of objective. But if time is not taken, some people look at it, they are having the same meaning. It's not the same meaning. Objective is more powerful than aim. If we look at it in that area, and depend on what you are doing at that moment before you can say at the end. For example, we want to give it maybe this one now, technical college, for example. The aim, as GSS level, they should be able to be aware of the tools, orientation given to them, to do this. But at the end of their course, which means stand for objective, they should be able to move out and move to the next class, which is SS1. Already they have aim, they have no certain thing about GSS. But at the end now, which is objective now, they will proceed to SS1.
Yes, the last question. Yes.
Our president,
these aims and objectives, my area of specialization is carpentry. I have designed a curriculum to train students so that they'll be able to produce a table and a chair in carpentry department. That is my aim. All of you sitting down here are carpenters in the making. So I've designed a curriculum in such a way that all of you, at the end of this, you will be able to produce a table. So at the end, that is my objective. When the curriculum is developed, that is my aim. After that, I want to believe all of you are able to produce a table. That is the objective I can achieve, so that at the end of it, you have achieved that very objective by all of you producing a table, so that even if you go out, you produce that table and make research. These are some of the objectives that you have in trying to develop that curriculum.
Yes. You have answered Ladi's question.
Okay, let me give a specific one. Our aim of coming here today is to present a term paper on steps in curriculum development, objectives. At the end of this class, the students should be able to identify, define, explain the steps involved in curriculum development.
From Oshi, and then Alfred, you capture.
Idoko is confusing you.
I didn't say you are wrong. You are describing. Actually, what I wanted was an example, specific.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's quickly move to the next question that was asked.
The next question. Say curriculum should differentiate between curriculum, program, and course. You don't go answer that question. Unfortunately, I didn't talk about course here. We talk about curriculum.
But he has brought it, so
it's a program anyway that we should identify. Now, what we are saying here is curriculum can be seen as a program of study. Outline, arrangement of study, a document. And so when you say differentiate between a curriculum and a program, that program is part, is what makes the curriculum at the end. I think if I'm not going wrong. But anyway, I don't know all. But to me, that's what I can. Somebody wants to talk about it?
Yes. I was trying to cite an example like Ladi earlier about my question. Like this MSc, this degree we are running for now is a program. We are running for a master's degree program now. Then we'll have the Department of Vocational and Technical Education, or maybe this course, curriculum development as a course. VT 708 is a course. So which was the next thing? So it can be defined by me as a person in my own way, as a formal or informal way, maybe a structured program that can be administered to a learner in a school program, in a school system. That is my own definition. You know, the curriculum has no definite definition. So that is the way I do it. Thank you.
Does that
I just want to add something to what Alogosiri said about curriculum. I just want to add something to that curriculum. Curriculum is an organized set of instructions. Yes. For teaching and learning process.
That guides the teaching and learning.
And that guides the teaching and learning process. I think that is what
that the curriculum is an organized set of instruction that guides the teaching and learning process. In the school setup.
Can only be it's only in school. It's not only in school.
What was the question in the first sentence?
The difference between curriculum, programs, and courses.
So, have you had?
Yes, he was able to tell us. He was able to tell us what the course is and the program, but he didn't say anything. He was just defining what.
In my own way.
The definition is not the difference. But I understand that curriculum is the broader, organized set of. Then program will now be driven from the curriculum. Then in the program there are courses under. So courses are gotten from program, programs are gotten from curriculum.
Okay. So you asked the question, you answered the question. I've already enlightened us. I think there was one more question. Okay.
What are you likely to encounter in developing curriculum?
Yes, up. Somebody has. Yes.
Okay. Is that all the protocols? The problems to be encountered during the curriculum development, you have the content, in the selection of content, then you have the purpose. We equally have the organization. In the selection of content, for instance, if you go through those of you who are taught in junior secondary school, you see the curriculum for JS3. If you look at that, you will discover that there is a problem in that class of introductory technology. If you go through it, you discover that most of those content have been selected to teach JS3 at that level. For instance, students learning gears and gearing. So if you go to that area to teach that JS3 students, you will discover that there's a lot of content that have been selected which are above their level. So these are some of the problems that you are likely to encounter in curriculum. So sometimes when you don't select those content appropriately, considering the age, considering the purpose, and how you are going to organize those activities, you will discover that it will not work because the learning will not take place. So the problems encountered are the selection of the content, the purpose, and the organization. So a good example of maybe JSC curriculum, like JS3, those of you who are conversant with it, you discover that the curriculum which is there, it is very difficult for them to understand at that level. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes? Stand on existing protocol. I think the issue of finance, we all know the politicians, when you want them to release money for other things, it's usually a problem, and it's also a problem you face when you are about developing a curriculum. It's one of the major problems you face. No problem.
One other one.
You still want to?
Yes,
Musa.
I was trying to cite an example, building on what Alfred just said concerning some of the topics that were included in the basic technology syllabus. You see, the age group of these learners has to be taken into consideration. When you look at the learning theories of people like Jim Piaget, you discover that there is a link, there's a direct correlation between the age these students should understand a particular lesson and then carry out the project in that lesson. So age limit, age bracket is a factor to be considered when we are selecting these steps in curriculum development. That is a contribution.
Let me add. In the area of selection, you discover that those who are selecting the content of the curriculum, they would like to vividly give detail of the area they specialize. Like if you go to that basic technology now for junior secondary school, if you pick some area, like the woodwork area, you discover that woodwork content there are very, very explicitly explained because they are specialists in that area. Then if you go to another area, the content of taking what is relevant will not be much. So I think it's a problem in getting content of curriculum.
Okay, thank you very much. I think one last person. Somebody here wanted to say something.
I was trying to add to it a problem. You see, they have developed the curriculum. They are going to the field. The teacher is another problem. That technology, GSS.
Yes.
They said GSS, metalwork, building, electrical, and what have you. And there's only one teacher that will teach the whole of that. And that teacher is only a professional on one field. So the rest of the subjects are suffering in that line. That's what I want to add.
And what I wanted to say is like we are trying to bring two things together. We are talking about challenges or problems likely to be encountered in curriculum development. The last point Mr. Akon made, to me, is a problem in curriculum implementation. They are two different.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I agree with you. So, thank you very much. Thank you very much.